The fallout continues from Trump's big night on Tuesday. Will he be the nominee? I don't know. But we're going to take a look at the energy of some of his supporters in this program. And I'm going to explain to you how, if he does get the nomination, he can and will beat Hillary, and why maybe Rubio couldn't or wouldn't. I'll be right back. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance.
Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. Those who uphold the law resist them. Welcome to the Voice of Resistance. Here's your host, Randall Terry.
President Obama had two weak candidates against him. McCain never went after him. Romney never went after him. And they both lost. Now it's almost comical to hear Romney taking shots at Trump and people suggesting that they might bait Romney to come into some of the later contests, spend a ton of money so that he denies the delegates of certain key states so that Trump goes into the convention without enough delegates to be the nominee on the first ballot. I've gone over this before with you. If you do not understand the delegate system, how it works, go to our website and watch one of the earlier shows that I've done on it in detail. But here's the scenario in which Trump could be derailed. If he doesn't get 1,237 delegates before the convention, that's the majority, people that would be pledged to vote for him on the first cycle, the first ballot inside of the convention, well, then it becomes an open contest for all intents and purposes, and people can start to horse trade. That's how Abraham Lincoln became the nominee of the Republican Party in 1860. All right? It was a brokered convention. People cut deals. So there are people that are saying we've just got to keep him from getting to the 1,237 delegate point. And it's possible that it could happen. It's not likely, but it is possible. And that's what Cruz and Rubio are trying to figure out right now. Let's assume that Trump wins the nomination, just for the sake of this discussion. There are people who say he's unelectable. He can't beat Hillary. Au contraire, my friend. Au contraire. Romney didn't go after Obama. McCain didn't go after Obama. Trump will go after Hillary. He is not going to give her a pass on anything. Do you remember when she said that Trump was sexist? And Trump went right at her and went right at Bill Clinton and his history? She stopped talking about it. She never said another word. He pummeled her and she took it off the table. So Hillary might be getting a pass right now regarding top secret emails and Benghazi and when did she lie and all of this stuff. He is not going to give her a pass. And when he starts making it the center point of his campaign against her, then ABC, CBS, NBC, the major networks, the New York Times, Washington Post, Associated Press, they are going to have to cover it because he's going to put it front and center. The other thing that he has going for him that could help him win the White House is enthusiasm. We're going to play some clips, all right? As if you haven't watched the show in a couple of days, we recently went to a Donald Trump event. And Billy Bob and I took the camera and the mic and I interviewed people. Why are you here? Why do you like Trump? You're going to see for yourself. You're going to hear for yourself. You can feel the energy in the room. It was really something. So that enthusiasm is a huge benefit to Trump. It really is a movement. And when people start talking to their friends, if it comes down to Trump versus Hillary, who do you think is going to be more passionate? The Hillary supporters or Trump's people? Hillary does, in fact, have a trustworthy issue. The polling numbers inside of the Democratic Party shows that most Democrats do not think that she's trustworthy. They don't think that she tells the truth. So there's a thing called voter suppression. There are a number of Democrats, forget the Republicans who might stay home. There's a large number of Democrats who are simply not going to come out and cast a vote for her. When Trump starts pouring in a ton of money and just flogging her politically, there's a lot of people that are going to stay home. By the way, one last bit of advice for Mr. Trump, or Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio for that matter. By the way, I don't think that Marco Rubio would take it to Hillary the way that Trump will. That's why I think that he actually might lose. I think he might fall more into the pattern of McCain and Romney, who didn't go after Obama. I think Rubio would take his, I think he'd wear kid gloves with Hillary, and it could cost him the election. So anyway, let me play you some of these clips, and I hope that you enjoy it. Oh, by the way, when I'm done, there's a debate tonight.
Why do you support Donald Trump?
I think the main appeal of Trump is that he's self-financing his campaign. You have Trump, or you have Rubio, you have Cruz. They're all being financed by the same banks, the same corporations that are financing Hillary. He's self-financing. He can act out of his own interests and out of our interests. I think also he's politically incorrect, which is something that we need in America right now, because we're tired of being told everybody's racist, everybody's, all these things. We're tired of it, and I think Trump is a reaction to that, and it's a good reaction to that.
What are the most important issues for you in the upcoming election?
I like the fact that he's pro-life. He wants to lower taxes. We have a socialist running that's getting a lot of people to come, but they don't want to show the audiences for Trump. I think just stopping the left is the main thing for me.
Why are you here?
I'm here to see Donald. I'm ready for change, some real change this time. There's so many important issues right now in this country's facing, and I'm ready for America to be great once again.
Are you a Republican?
Yes.
How do you feel about the Republican establishment?
I was with them for a while, but they're just not getting things done. I mean, it's the same story, different day. We want somebody new, an outsider, somebody who might actually do what he says.
Excellent. What are the issues that are important to you?
There's so many. The safety of our country, the economy. I mean, it just goes on. I mean, I can't pick one important issue that's more important than the other right now. Our country's in a mess.
And you think Trump is the man that can turn it around?
I think he's the only one that can. I really do.
What do you think about his idea for a temporary ban on Muslims coming into the country?
I love it. I think it's a great idea. I mean, we don't know who these people are. They're just coming in. I mean, we've got veterans right now that need more care than refugees.
How would you like your name, or the name of somebody that you love, to be listed as a producer of our upcoming series, What Would Mohammed Do? If you are in a position to give a $1,000 gift, we have to buy some computer gear and some 4K monitors that cost about $12,000. One computer and 2 monitors, $12,000, because they're broadcast quality. This is not a Hewlett-Packard laptop, okay? If you can be one of those 12 people who give $1,000 or more, we will list you as a producer in the series, What Would Mohammed Do? Or if you want to do it in memory of a loved one, we will do that as well. Please, go to the GoFundMe site you see, watch the pilot, and if you say, I want to be a part of that, give a $1,000 gift, and we will put you or the person you choose as a producer of this TV series. I thank you in advance. God bless you.
Are you pro-life?
Oh, absolutely.
You think that Donald Trump is going to fight for the unborn?
I think so. I hope so.
Well, they brought that black preacher in from the Carolinas, and man, he was like a house on fire.
I know we couldn't understand him back here, though.
What he was saying was that it's murder to kill an unborn baby, and Donald Trump will fight to protect the babies.
I think that's wonderful. It's wonderful.
They'll save a dog, but they will save a dog.
Say that again?
They will save a dog, but they won't save the unborn.
Why do you like Donald Trump?
I like Donald Trump because I think he's shaking things up. I think he will do a really good job. And I think Newt Gingrich said it best when he said, everybody's upset, they're mad, they're angry, and they want somebody to go to Washington and kick over the table.
What are the issues that are important to you as a voter?
Our security, especially the border. Security where ISIS is concerned.
You support building a wall on the southern border?
Absolutely. Yes, we do.
What do you say to people who say, well, you're just a xenophobe, you're afraid of people that are different than you, or you're a bigot?
No, it's just like they say, we shut our doors and lock our doors at night in our home. Why don't we do that to our country? If you don't, as Trump says, if you don't have borders, you don't have a country.
Excellent.
And I think that's true.
Anything else? Anything else about Trump that you like, or about the other candidates that you don't like, the other Republicans?
I think they're all very bright, but I just think Trump is the man for the time. People are upset, and we've voted and sent Republicans to Washington, but nothing's changed. So we're ready for a change.
Are you a Christian?
I am.
What denominational background?
Baptist.
What are the issues that are important to you as a Christian that you think Donald Trump is going to fight for?
Well, you know, I'm not electing a preacher, I'm electing a leader of the country. But I just think he stands for the things that Christians stand for as well. And he wants to keep our country safe, and he wants to make it great again.
What are you hearing amongst your Catholic friends?
Well, this morning, as it turns out, I was at a Catholic event at St. Anne. We honored the police and firemen of the city of Bartlett, and I got to see a lot of the folks of the city of Bartlett in the administration and the mayor, and I talked to a bunch of my brother Knights of Columbus, and most people that I've talked to are just fed up with the government the way it's being done right now.
What was the sense of those people that you talked to about Trump?
Well, I think a lot of people are reluctant to talk about it. They feel there's a stigma attached to Trump, and they don't want to publicly say anything. But my sense is that below the surface, they're really for him.
I think they like what he's doing to the Republican establishment.
I think so, too. He's tearing it up, and that's great.
Are you Republican?
Yes.
What do you think about the Republican establishment?
Bad. Very bad. They say one thing and they do another, and they definitely do not support the people. After all, they just passed funding for abortion in the Congress. They have the majority, Senate and the representatives.
They could have defunded Planned Parenthood. You're talking about?
Yep, Planned Parenthood, exactly.
He doesn't care whose toes he steps on. All the politicians try to kiss up.
As I look around this crowd, way more than half of the crowd is female. There's more women here than men.
That's true.
So there's a lot of people saying, well, Trump. There's a lot of people saying, well, Trump is anti-women. What do you think of that silliness? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have front-loaded it. There's a lot of people that say Trump is anti-woman. What do you think? Folks, there is no theater like that theater. The Trump plane going by and the crowd going wild. So what did you think of the speech?
It's great. Like most of his speeches and travel events, just fantastic, a lot of energy. He's speaking to the core of America with this. A lot of people like myself, working class Americans, are really been hurt over the last 25 years. We've seen our jobs. I'm a skilled craftsman. I'm a union pipe fitter, HVAC technician, and we've seen our jobs, especially in the southern states, the Midwest, constantly been taking the competition from people mostly from the third world, let's be honest, and they just can't compete. And we're paying taxes, and our government just hasn't been listening to us. I started talking about this under the second Bush administration, and was not in the bag for the GOP at all.
What do you think of the GOP establishment?
They're shook up over this. They're shook up. This is a game changer, like Donald said himself. I think it's going to be a brawl at the convention if they keep the shenanigans up. I mean, at this point, it was ridiculous.
Do you think he's going to win the nomination?
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. It was ridiculous. You had, 16 people that came in, decided we're going to run for one office, and one by one, you have the people that call themselves conservatives.
Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas referred to John Locke twice in his dissent in the Obergefell decision. John Locke is referred to as the philosopher of American liberty. He was a genius, and he not only believed in natural law, but he believed in revealed law, the Word of God, the law of God. And he is one of the two most influential philosophers on the founders of this republic. We are offering you this book, and I'm going to give you my book as well, The Sword. The Sword, the subtitle is The Blessing of Righteous Government and the Overthrow of Tyrants. It looks at what is the legitimate purpose of government, and when is it our right to overthrow government, like they did with the Declaration of Independence. We will send you these two books if you simply pay for the shipping and handling, $8, and then give whatever else you want. And by the way, the $8 doesn't cover our cost, but if that's all you can afford, we'll send them to you for the $8. God bless you.
Mr. Ransom works for the local CBS affiliate. You've covered politics for a long time. What did you think about the crowd?
Oh, there's nothing like it. It was a very, everybody says it's kind of like going to a concert, and that's kind of how it feels. And the excitement that they have is they're walking up and just can't wait to see what he's going to say.
The energy of this crowd, I've never seen maybe one time a political energy or frenetic energy at a political gathering like this.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's funny, boosters were hoping that there'd be 18 to 30,000. No, we got nowhere near that. I was guessing 2/3 of the hangar full, probably 4,000 or 5,000, somewhere in there. But I mean, these folks were standing up for a couple of hours.
Yep.
Some of them elderly, some of them struggling with that, but they were willing to do it to see their candidate.
My wife got in a half an hour late. She was in traffic out there for an hour and a half. She said that they screwed up at the entry level. People were turning around.
Oh, they just gave up. Yeah. A lot of folks. That's probably true.
So she was determined. My 4 boys were here with her, so she was determined to get in. He took a pretty hard shot at those of us in the press, as you know, he does regularly.
He always does, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But what small town reporters, and I include us in that, very different than the DC New York corridor.
Mm-hmm.
Very different mindset. I mean, speak to how you feel the New York DC press have covered him.
Well, he complains a lot about the media, but I've never seen a candidate get more free media than he does. So honestly, I think on that one issue, maybe I'm biased on this one because I'm partial to my brethren, but I think he's wants to have his cake and eat it too.
Yes.
And you turn on.
He's a master at it.
He is. I mean, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, they all will carry his speeches in their entirety because, I mean, they're entertaining to watch.
Yep.
So as much as he complains, and maybe he gets an article here and there in the New York Times that makes him upset, but by and large, I think he's winning that battle pretty well.
He is getting enormous coverage. I've never seen anything like it. I cover his campaign probably as much as all the rest of them combined on my show because it's interesting, because there's one headline after another, one soundbite after another. But I think what he's talking about is that elite, that George Will, that New York Times editorial board that are so clueless as to what's going on here.
How can you not love how he's just turning the whole process on its head? And it's not just the elite media, but the elite politicians as well. And I do think it speaks to how out of touch people in the Beltway are when it comes to the mood of the public. And I think they're only now finally starting to realize, maybe we're a little out of touch on that altogether.
What are you hearing from your contacts in the GOP establishment locally?
As far as who they support, I think a lot of them still are mostly establishment types. They are more than half the ones I can think of would tell you that they're Rubio supporters. There are some, state lawmakers that have announced that they're for Ted Cruz, but still there's a real reluctance, except for Terry Rowland here, the Shelby County Commissioner, a real reluctance to say that they're for the guy who a lot of people don't consider to be a real Republican.
It's funny, his numbers after South Carolina and Nevada, the size of, not just the size of the vote, but the depth of the vote on just about every level are astounding. I mean, really and truly, that's almost a Republican dream come true. If they could have had Jeb Bush get that many women, that many poorly educated, that many well-educated, that many Hispanic, they would be elated.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's why I think finally people were, saying it took 10 debates. You finally saw some people who, Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz, saying maybe we really need to attack this guy. But the conventional wisdom is, and I think on this score the pundits are right, it's probably too late.
Right. He's gonna do really well on Super Tuesday. My assessment is, you address this, they need to keep 5 candidates in. The only way to deny him the majority going into the convention is if he keeps getting below 50% because of the division of the delegates.
Yeah, although, I think a lot of the candidates who are not Trump want to believe that if somebody would just get out of the race, all those supporters would go to somebody besides Donald Trump, and I don't think there's any indication of that at all.
I agree.
At all.
Well, I enjoy watching you. You're a good journalist, and it's a pleasure to meet you, Richard.
Glad to have you in Memphis.
Friend, this TV show represents a mission. It's to be a voice of resistance to the evil in the land, but also to inspire people like you to take a stand at any level that you might be able to equip you, to inspire you, to challenge you, to give you the rhetorical ammunition that you need. But we still have to pay bills. This program, as you know if you're a regular viewer, we don't spend a lot of time raising money. We don't spend a lot of time saying, oh, you need to buy this and we're gonna run. No, we're bringing you a message, but we still have bills that we need to pay. I'm asking you, if you have been blessed by this show, to please go to our website or send a check to the address you see on the screen or call the phone number that you see on the screen and use your credit card and to give $50 or $100 or $500 just to help us meet our normal expenses. And we'll keep bringing you this hard-hitting show.
I think he's great.
What do you like about him?
Everything. Everything. He's wonderful. I think he can turn America around. I would like to take Hillary and stuff her in a coffin somewhere.
You think he'll beat Hillary?
I hope so. I hope he nails her to the wall.
I have a feeling that he'll say things to her and about her that no one else will.
Exactly, because he can get away with it. He's got more backbone than she's got put together. Him.
What are the issues that are important to you?
Well, the economy, the deficit, just about everything. Because Obama, he'd forget him. He hasn't done a thing.
Well, I would argue he's made the country worse off.
Yes, we're worse off than we were before. Reagan was one of the better presidents.
What are the other issues that are important to you?
Unchecked immigration, obviously, it's a big thing for our country. You don't have a country if we don't have any borders, and right now we don't have a border on the Mexico, on the south.
What do you think about Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio?
I'm just against politicians. This time around, we don't need another politician, especially Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio was part of the Gang of Eight, and that was not a good thing. Ted Cruz is my guy if Trump doesn't get elected. I'm for Cruz. At least Cruz is a staunch conservative.
What do you think about the fact that Trump is not taking any big money?
The best. That's the best part about it, because he's not beholden to the special interests, and that's the best thing that could happen right there.
His argument, I guess, is that he's beholden to the voters.
That's exactly right, the voters. He doesn't need money. He doesn't need fame. He's famous and he's rich. So why is he doing this? Hopefully to make our country better, great again.
What do you think about the Republican establishment?
I think what Trump's doing to them is incredible. The Bushes are gone. He was polling at single digits for the longest time, and because he was financed, with hundreds, it was over $100 million he was getting from the banks and the corporate donors. He stayed in the race for so long. Trump spent the least amount of money and did the best. So I think what he's doing to the establishment is incredible. We haven't seen that in so long. The neocons are being taken out of the Republican Party, and I couldn't be happier about it. So
I'm a Democrat, but I really like Trump, so I'm going to vote for him.
That's bad news for Hillary.
Yeah, I was going to vote for her until Trump got into it, and I agree with everything he says. I don't think he's out to divide the country. I think he's giving the country hope for a better future.
We want him to bring the jobs back to the U.S.
What do you think about the fact that he's not taking any money from big companies?
I think it's great. We don't have to worry about him kowtowing to all of the people that way.
What are the issues that are important to you?
The jobs coming back to the country is the main job, and maybe Obamacare.
Hope you enjoyed the program. If you're interested in this type of thing, there is another Republican debate on tonight, one of the other networks. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.